Hi, I'm Cindy Wagner. My job is to organize, digitize, repair, and preserve your photos and stuff. So I'm doing these chats to help if you've decided now is a good time to open your bins and boxes and organize your stuff. So the theme of today's chat is stuff. We often talk about, our photo project. We're going to do our photo project. And it's true. I mean, the bulk of what we have is probably photos. We have printed photos, digital photos, a lot of digital photos. And so we do need them organized. But what I find is when people start opening these boxes and bins of things they've been saving for many years, it turns out it's not all photos. So today's chat is all about the stuff, and so the first thing we're going to do is a big chunk sort. We're going to get banker boxes or Amazon boxes. I have a lot of those right now. Or, plastic bins, that works. And we're just going to separate the things that we find in our big boxes or little boxes or whatever kind of boxes we have that things have been stored in for many years. We're now going to take them out, we're going to look at them, and we're simply going to sort by what it is, category. Okay, so the first category, that would be prints. It's probably the biggest volume of what you have. So your photo albums, your framed photos, photos that are still in the developer envelopes, loose photos, you're liable to find things in these boxes. So that's the first category. The second thing I can think of, which is also a lot of stuff oftentimes, is digital photos. And I know some of us go, oh, well, those are all in the cloud. No, they're not all in the cloud. Digital photos have been in our lives for 20, 25 years. So it's very possible that you have CDs in drawers or external hard drives in a box, in a closet, or old devices tucked around the house, old computers tucked around the house. So anything you can find like that, put that all together. Those are our digital photos. And then another category would be movies. A lot of us have home movies. So you might have film, you might have videotapes, all different sizes of film, all different sizes of videotapes. And you might have in these boxes DVDs. So if you have DVDs, yes, they've been digitized, but put them in the box, in the sorting box with the other movie items, because it's really part of a category, and you're going to want to make sure that you have all your movies together. Okay, so slides. A lot of us have slides. Can you tell I have all this stuff? I do, it's true. But slides, okay, there are a lot of different sizes of slides, but they're all slides. So if you have the carousels, if you have them in boxes, if you have them in trays, I got a couple here and they're in little cubes. These are great. All we're going to do though is make sure that they're all temporarily chunked together so that when we go through our slides, we got them all in one spot. Awesome. Negatives, the exact same thing. Many different sizes. We want to look at them all at once. Just store them temporarily together. Because that's what happens with negatives is they might have they probably did get separated from their photos. So we're going to put all the negatives together if they're separated from their photos. If they're with their photos, put them with the photos for now, okay? And then another category is scrapbooks. very different from photo albums. When I think of a scrapbook, I'm thinking of something where the pages themselves are part of the value, just the way the page is laid out. A lot of us did creative memories, those kind of scrapbooks, and then we also have baby books, and some people made scrapbooks of their children's artwork. You wouldn't want to take those pages apart. The value is those books as a whole. So what you do is right now, don't worry about what we're going to do with them. We're going to keep them all together and we will digitize whole books. Oh, I gave it away. That's what we'll do. Okay. So then another big category often is paper. So birth certificates, marriage certificates, letters, recipes, newspaper clippings, awards. So you may have something as big as this, or you might have some little scraps. It's all paper. You're going to put it all together, and you are going to be working and sorting through the paper at another time. So we're putting that into a category. And then very possible you might have audio tapes. So this is someone who is talking or someone who is singing. These are not commercial. We're not talking about commercial cassettes, but audio recordings on reel-to-reel cassettes. There's a couple of different types of things, but keep those all together. They can become part of the collection. And then the last thing I can think of is like 3D memorabilia, and it can be a very large chunk. So it could be things like blue ribbon at the county fair. It could be something you brought back from a vacation. It could be something mom used to have in the kitchen, all kinds of things. So if you have these things as you're going through your boxes and bins and kind of through the house, see what you got, keep those all together because they will be organized and sorted together. Now, just a couple of things to keep in mind as you go through these big boxes and bins that I have imagined, but however you kept your stuff, I put some stuff out so you could kind of see it. The first thing is, if this is the first time that you've been looking through your stuff for a long time, you're going to want to linger over every photo. And I'm going to encourage you not to do that. This isn't the time. The whole reason for doing this project at all is to enjoy the photos and to share them. But if you stop right now and you start looking at everything, I just really am concerned you will not ever get off the ground with this. So that's my advice. Another thing, as you are going through these boxes, there's a lot of stuff in there. And so when you come across something, it's possible that it has a clue, like how old it is or even what it is. So the example I have is this. This is just a paper. It's not even an envelope, but it has negatives in it. The negatives were in a box with a bunch of stuff from the late 1970s. Now, I don't want to spend the time right now to look at these negatives and figure out, are they really from the 1970s? What are they? No. Right now, I just have negatives with no photos. So I'm going to put a sticky on the back of it, and I'm simply going to say, found in a box, late 1970s. And now I have a clue when I'm looking at them. Doesn't mean that's what they're from, it's just a clue. All right, so we got that. The other thing, the biggest thing, is if you have an opportunity to get as much of your stuff in this part of the project, then it is easier because you only have to go through processes one time. So as you're going through, if you say, oh, I remember there's a box in the rafters in the garage, or there's the box in storage, or there's all those photo albums at Great Aunt Eunice's. Okay, you'll want to get those. The only caveat I have right now is that it's April of 2020, and if it's just best not to go to Great Aunt Eunice's right now, we'll leave her be. And I don't want you to panic or worry, because if you forget or you don't remember or whatever, and stuff comes up later, you can always add it in. It's just easier now. Okay? So no worry on that. And the other thing I hope that you wouldn't worry about is you might come across some things in the boxes you don't recognize. And I don't mean the people. I mean like technical stuff. Technologies changes constantly. So just for example, I came across this. And it is a 3.5 floppy. And you don't see a lot of these days. If you ran across something like that, what I would hope you would do, of course, read it and see if you can figure out, and it says picture disc, so we could put it in the digital pictures. But if you come across something that isn't quite so obvious what it might be, maybe have another chunk and call it things I don't know what it is. And then you can call me, or you can call a friend, you can call someone and try to figure out what it is. Okay? So no fair worrying or panicking. We're just going to go through a big chunk sort here. And so it can be a lot of stuff. Enjoy it without lingering. And I'm just looking forward to our next chat. It's going to start talking about organizing printed photos. I'm going to have a couple of chats on that because there's a lot to say. So thank you, and I'll see you then.